it is Maggots. We are going to continue. Barry, we are now starting a chapter 2 of it. So, we just like fell in a hole and found this thing, this tunnel stuff. Here we go. We were standing on a thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying, but there's a small light further ahead than a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Let's ask Dennis. Looks like we're waiting for the D train, Jen says with a deadly sounding crackle. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's also much more solid now, and there's some other sound. Something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here? Not at all. This is what I think myself. But I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first went into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. No, we're good enough. Keep making him confident. Reassured him. We're too far to go back, I say. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we slide by. We're good. You're in pain, and we've got to find the rest of our crew. They could still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured. I'll bet it's weak and miserable. From the looks of it, we can either go left or right. The left is slightly lit, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this would have us wandering for hours. Suddenly I jerk my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I asked Dennis, my eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe it kinda sounded like footsteps. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left are flickering lights, indicating that we'll at least be able to see, but there's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right, just darkness, but you also have footsteps in that direction. We're gonna go right to the footsteps. There's a person that way, probably. If there's anyone here, they're worth speaking to. Right it is. As we leave the glow of the electric lights, things instantly start to feel a bit more sinister. I look at Dennis's injuries again. The gash along his side is inflamed now, and while the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that has soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can you walk? I ask him. Can you keep going? Yes, Dennis says. Let's walk into the deep, dark tunnel that has no business being here. He's right. The darkness we find ourselves in feels thick, like walking in syrup. I am reminded of the fear I felt as a child when I had to go into the basement to fetch tools for my dad. I was sure there were snakes or spiders, monsters of unimaginable horror looking down. I feel that same way here, walking through the tunnel. That's when I see a human figure, far back in the tunnel, silhouetted in the faint light at the end. He's standing on some other platform up ahead, and like he can't see us. It looks like he might be holding a gun, but it's too dark to be sure. Let's yell out. Just to see. My voice echoes through the tunnel, bouncing endlessly off the walls. The figure turns towards us and freezes like a deer sensing danger. Why the hell did you do that? Dennis whispers to me. We don't know who that is. We don't know where we are. I don't know, I say. Maybe he can answer some questions. But that doesn't happen. The person can't see us in the dark, and after a moment, the figure rushes their way through a door up ahead. So much for answering us. Thanks for that. You get an answer. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they are dim, red, and emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused the power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we come to the large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell have we walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident though. When we reach the large opening, you have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then up a small utility ladder that is bolted onto the opposite side of their travelway. When he reaches the large opening area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? Dennis says, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. I'll stop worried about my crew and the madness of wherever we're. I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. Get up, pull it together, Dennis. It's okay, take it easy. You can do this. Let's do this one. I'm not the one with a gash in my side. I think so, so I decided to cut him some slack. Yeah. Damn, boss, I'm sorry, he says. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. You need a minute to rest? I ask as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway, exiting the platform area. It's at this point I realize these red emergency lights might be on for someone else who's actually supposed to be here. Like the guys earlier, standing on the platform. Let's just stay quiet for now. I don't know where he's at. Like, I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone to the fact that we're strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream in this place, is too much to bear. Emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret. And if it is supposed to be a secret, and there was power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. But then why was that one person still here? This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through. Weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls and floors looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm all of that. But for what? Dennis asks. Then he asks a question that has been on my mind since we fell into the hole. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clinking noise and the unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. So we got lights. That's good. Without warning, the facility jumps to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright, white fluorescent ones. The mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow the power being back on urges us on. It's then that they notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerily overhead. Other than that, the place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long with two main doors. One door opens onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and papers strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall into feet and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Something funny, I ask, as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides down to the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. I mean, they're loggers, and the lab is not really going to be easy enough, so the conference may be easier. A large table sits in the middle of the room, lined with a series of chairs. It looks like something straight out of a showroom. A well-used whiteboard hangs on the wall, and there are scattered papers on the desk. Let's look at the papers. Most of the papers and printouts have codes and equations that go all way over my head. But there are also handwritten notes that don't make me feel any better about our situation. I read the room and see scrawled notes on the thing that say things like, last experiment failed, overdose before transport, levels indicate cellular catabolism, more lead shielding in expert suits. Measurements make no sense. Let Barksdale know about possible Higgs field fix. I don't know if the board would have anything else. Let's just exit. I don't think it's gonna happen more. Outside the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to still see him seated on the floor. But I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Ew, new. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young, with messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. Dennis jumps up and stands next to me, like he's ready to run for it. I recognize him by his height and build. He's a person I could barely see back in that dark tunnel. Let's not do that to a person who's just out there. I put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrender state. Maybe it's because this feels like a dream. Maybe it's because it feels like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. Who are you and how did you get here? The man asked harshly. Before we could answer, he continued speaking. I don't recognize you. If you're here, you would have had to sneak by the security mics in the entrance hall. What? I asked, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? The man asked. Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He's scared, but there's something else. We're just loggers. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says, bullshit. But for some reason, I am pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, the man says. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? Our man asked, thrusting a gun in my face. How the hell did we get in this situation? I think so. If we hadn't fallen into the hole, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if we want to be giving this guy information. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he may have answers. Yeah, I'm gonna ask if he's seen him. We have other crew members that we cannot find. I say, your crew? Yeah, seeming confused. If this man thinks we're nuts, there's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks like crazy himself makes this situation even hairier. Which, how would you get in here? The man asked. I pointed down the hallway towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. His expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Let's ask him. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out, the man says. With that, he uses the muzzle of the gun to flip my hard hat onto the floor. God damn it. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best. But it's sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because his wounds make him appear the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. We're gonna get between him and the gun. Because no, why not? Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action, and I'll do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say. We're here by mistake. Well, you have no business here, the man says. But now that the power's on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? I ask. But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense and honestly makes me think he might be a little crazy. Who sent you? He asks. You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? Sorry, you get a drink. Quiet. No, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a person. No, I say, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, the man says. I see a flicker of recognition in his face. That makes me think he might believe me. His grip on the gun is tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says. We don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Didn't it move it so fast that I just about missed it? Dennis lashes forward. I have no idea how he's moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago, I was worried about how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there's a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing to the floor at my feet to help me realize that I have not been shot. I look at the floor and see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed and shocked for a moment as Dennis the man fight with possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall I could use to bludgeon, but I do not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. Let's just punch him. I'm not gonna try and get Dennis hurt more. Dennis has a man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right in front of my face, a reminder of how close I had come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often, never really. I'm usually not the brawling type. Still, it's apparently effective. The man's head snaps back hard and his grip on the gun looses. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized, and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet, although he is basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him, the desire that builds with each second I look at him. We need answers. We don't need to keep punching him. He definitely is out now. No threat. Or at least that's what I think. But he has surprised me by mustering up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. Damn it. My eyelids swells to the size of a grape almost immediately. Seems like this last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back. He's ready myself for another round of blows, but he just slouches onto the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me, and I take it with shaking hands. I can't believe you stepped between me and that gun, Dennis says. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had known such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes looks at the floor. Well, thanks, Dennis. What do we do now, boss? Dennis asks. We've come this far and I want answers, since that Dennis does too. I walk over, pick up my hard hat off the floor. After placing it on my head, I turn and walk towards the man. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time I want to see you, I say, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs wobbly and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid from where he kicked me earlier. I just hope it doesn't get so bad that it affects my eyesight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us. It's still sliding doors larger than a normal elevator. It's a really big elevator though. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him comfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name? I ask. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be? I ask. No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful information we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here, I said. Where might I find one? Down on the 2nd floor, he says, but we can't go there. What's on level 2? He looks at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware you're inside of a classified government facility, he says. Makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure a government would want you to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he says. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. And not even a thank you, just a bunch of restricted access rooms that I'm only allowed to go into with a freaking chaperone. I interrupt this monologue. We're going into that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get in for hitting a government employee. This makes me glad I took it easy on him. Then again, he had it come at us with a rifle. Makes me think that things would have gone terribly wrong in this place. An explosion in the woods, or whatever the hell happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the 2nd floor, but I'm not sure if it would be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. Let's ask for help. Look, I said, it doesn't hurt. It hasn't been the best day. We're just trying to find out what's going on to find a crew to survive. I know this isn't a normal situation down here, but it looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the store doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The store doors slide open with a whisper, revealing the interior. Oh, thanks. Marcus, you're so sweet. Like, you mean that? Just helping us get this better. Oh, enough. It's a secondary well lit and she's made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door with the options for 3 sub-level floors. This looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here? You can't leave, Mark says. Once the power comes back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? Shout, can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. Slowly we start to move down. The hum and grunt of the car's motors fill the space. So we're stuck here forever? Marcus scowls at me. I think it's a fair question. Doesn't seem unreasonable to assume he won't be able to get us out. We'll find somebody with the access codes and they'll be begging me to figure out how to lift the lockdown. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn the computers on without help. They're top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. How big is it? I'm going to see. It's a government facility with the highest secrecy versus the research facility. It goes 4 stories underground, and quite frankly, it scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easy. Why is that, I ask? It's a black ops graveyard, he replies. Even the CIA doesn't know about this place. So your job? I mean, I probably can't ask. I handle IT work and make sure that databases are up and running. It's a 24/7 job. I haven't seen sunlight in almost a year. I wonder what staying up late like this for that long would do someone's mind. I was recruited, he continues, because of the workload. No one else wants this job, but I really don't mind being by myself. No family. Plus the IT, it's some crazy shit. Crazy how, I ask. This place generates over 100 terabytes of data per day. He answers, getting the slightest bit excited before his face falls again. What knocked the lights out? I want to know that. Seems like some sort of power outage, Mark says. That's all I know. There was an outage, and then what? Dennis asked me. Things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how, I asked. The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened, and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by something. I was getting try getting security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little while. Little bit on my backup system. But what I saw, what? I asked, feeling sharp fear warm its way to my guts. Well, what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time innocence, it made me get the gun for the emergency vault. I think whatever it is, it's so down here. Hold on, I say. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place. Marcus gave me this grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know? Just in case of what? As he opens his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a glassed-in room that's filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file out behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns and emergency vaults in every single room? It's kind of an odd thing to have in an emergency vault in every room. But that is the end of chapter 2. In the next video, we will start chapter 3. So let's see what our stats are. Curiosity. You and 58% of players called out to Marcus when you saw him in the tunnel. It's like half by half. Selflessness. You and 64% of players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him from Marcus. That's a lot of people that did that. Mercy. You and 65% of players were easy on Marcus after he surrendered. So, selfless is mercy. Like, a lot of us seem to choose to be easy and actually protect Dennis. And like half and half caught out to Marcus, and the other half didn't. That was like almost splitting Ring of Curiosity. That's kind of awesome. But alright, so that was the chapter 2 of Buried. Let me know if you like if you're playing this game, which way you're going to the options. If you went easy on him and easy on Marcus, did you step in front of Dennis to protect him? Did you call out to Marcus in the tunnel? But yeah, let me know in the comments below what other games you want me to see. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.